Imagine a landscape so vast that a single house on a low hill commands a view of an entire river and valley. Down below, fields of ripe corn dotted with flowers promise a heavy harvest. In this kind of isolation, the sheer scale of the natural world dwarfs everything else. The farmer who lives here, Lencho, knows these fields intimately. He doesn't look to the market or the government for his family's security. He spends his morning doing only one thing: staring at the northeast sky, waiting for a single necessary downpour. When the clouds finally break, Lencho's reaction is deeply specific. As you can read in the text here, he doesn't call them raindrops, he calls them new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces, and the little ones are 5s. For Lencho, the math is simple. The corn on that hill is the only asset he owns. If the rain doesn't fall, his year's income remains locked in the dirt. Then the wind abruptly shifts. The sweet, fresh air turns violent, and those new coins are immediately replaced by heavy, jagged hailstones, what the boys call frozen pearls, shredding the harvest on impact. The storm does not pass quickly. For an hour, hail batters the house, the garden, and the hillside. When it finally stops, the entire valley is stark white, looking as though it has been salted. The devastation is absolute. Not a single leaf remains on the trees. The corn is entirely flattened, and the flowers are stripped from the plants. Standing in the ruin, Lencho makes a grim calculation. As this slide highlights, he tells his sons, a plague of locusts would have left more than this. Even a biological disaster leaves scraps. The storm left nothing. Stripped of his crop, his physical labor, and his earthly safety net, Lencho is backed into a corner. With 0 human solutions left, he pivots to the only remaining option. Lencho is described as an ox of a man, used to brutal physical labor in the dirt. But he possesses a specific skill you might not expect. He knows how to read and write. The following Sunday, he drafts a highly specific invoice for his survival. He writes to God, stating clearly that without help, his family will go hungry, and he requests exactly 100 pesos to resow his fields. These thick, calloused hands, better suited to breaking soil and pulling weeds, now delicately guide a fragile ink pen across rough parchment. He addresses the envelope simply to God, walks into town, pays for a stamp, and drops it into the public mailbox. His deeply personal, elemental request has officially entered the rigid, bureaucratic human system. By addressing an envelope to the heavens, he attempts to turn a spiritual hope into a recorded, physical demand for survival. When the local postman finds the envelope, he brings it to his boss, laughing. But as noted in our source text here, that laughter quickly dissolves into solemnity. The postmaster is struck by the sheer, unshakable faith of the farmer who wrote it. He decides to answer the letter so the man's faith isn't shattered. But goodwill and ink aren't enough. He needs actual currency. He gives up a portion of his own salary and asks his colleagues and friends to chip in for an act of charity. Delivering a miracle requires logistics. This flowchart outlines the standard money order procedure they had to navigate, filling out forms, paying clerks, securing counterfoils, just to route their pooled cash back to the farmer. Looking at the standard sections on this money order form, you can see exactly where the postmaster commits his final act of empathy. He can only scrape together 70 pesos. He places the bills inside, and on the signature line, he writes a single word: God. The heavens didn't open. The money was manufactured purely through the sacrifice and quiet empathy of ordinary postal workers. The next Sunday, Lencho returns to the post office. The postmaster watches from his office, waiting to witness the joy of a miracle. But when Lencho is handed the envelope, he shows absolutely no surprise. He fully expected God to pay the bill. Then he counts the money, 70 pesos. Instantly, his lack of surprise morphs into deep anger. God, in Lencho's mind, does not make mathematical errors, nor would he deny the full request. Lencho marches back to the counter, asks for ink and paper, and drafts a furious second letter. He drops it in the mail and leaves. When the postmaster opens it, expecting gratitude, he finds a complaint. Lencho asks God to send the remaining 30 pesos, but with one strict condition. Lencho demands the money be sent directly to him, writing, quote, "Don't send it to me through the mail, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks." The farmer got his miracle. But his absolute certainty in the divine created a massive blind spot, preventing him from seeing the quiet human angels who actually reached into their own pockets to save